Welcome to Crafts with Crafts. And what we're doing is some seasonal crafts and pairing them with hopefully seasonal drinks, mostly beers, maybe some ciders. So today what we're doing is fall related because Canadian Thanksgiving is coming up, and myself, Michelle, and my husband, Aaron, will be working on the crafts and doing some taste testing. And what we're doing today is a garland, a fall garland. You can put up anywhere in your hearth, on the wall, what have you. And what have we got for pairing with such crafts?
Well, with the acorn and pumpkin pie garland that we have going, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pairing it with a Thornbury Village apple cider. And we're also going to be pairing that with a Mill Street Oktoberfest style Bavarian lager beer. So we'll
sounds perfect.
Open that up and away we go. Seeing as we're getting near the end of barbecue season, I figured it was appropriate to crack this sucker one more time. So we'll get the top popped on this, and away we go.
Awesome. So to get started on the garland, what we'll do is we'll start with the acorn. So you'll need some cardstock paper to make it a little more firm, and to make it look like this, get an old book that you don't need to keep around anymore, that you don't mind ripping up. I got mine from a yard sale, cost me like 25 cents, and some fabric to go to the top. I've got some burlap ribbon. You'll also need some glue, of course. And then for the pumpkin pie bit, you'll use some of that cardstock paper and also some pumpkin colored construction paper and a cotton ball for the whipped cream.
Now, I'm going to pass over the Thornbury. So this is
excellent.
for you.
Yeah.
And here is my Oktoberfest style lager.
Ooh,
so
they look
cheers.
very nice.
And let's see what we got.
Oh, that's tasty.
Very nice.
I like the Thornbury. Now, what does it say? I notice it says gluten-free on there. But,
yes.
What else? Is it supposed to be like a dry, or does it say anything?
It doesn't actually say anything about whether or not it's supposed to be dry or not, but I can tell you that this is actually a local vintage. It actually begins at the junction of Georgian Bay and the Blue Mountains.
Awesome.
So, local Canadian beer. Then, of course, we have our Oktoberfest style Mill Street Bavarian lager, which is again brewed right here in the city of Toronto. So we figured, you know what, it's nice crisp apples during the fall and an Oktoberfest style lager because we're coming up on Canadian Thanksgiving, which is the first Sunday in October here. I figured it would be a very nice pairing.
And if I'm not mistaken, those are made with the cider is made with 100%. Is it Ontario apples or
yes.
Canadian?
No, it's all 100% Ontario apples.
Woo!
Yes.
Awesome. So to get your acorn, I freehanded mine, but there's templates that you can find online, which is where I found all the ideas here. And I'm just going to use the one that I already made. And what you do is just trace around to get the shape, and it's really looking a little wonky right now, but that's okay because that just gives you the idea. So you cut that out, and then you take your book, rip out a page with a lot of wording on it, and then trace that out.
Now this is to provide a little bit more, I guess, razzmatazz, a little razzle-dazzle for the acorns that you've got up there. It will be 100% readable. So I would recommend choosing, if you're going to be doing this in a family setting, something a little more family-friendly. If it's something you're doing with some more of your adult friends, then it's something that can be a little bit racier if you'd like. Personally, we here actually picked up a book called Women Are Crazy and Men Are Stupid. which actually borrowed from one of George Carlin's most famous comedy bits, specifically about how women are crazy because men are stupid.
What was that you were saying about keeping things short and sweet?
Yeah,
for the video, honey.
You know, you can throw everything back in my face if you want to. That's perfectly fine.
So while you're cutting out the print,
yep,
I will cut out the acorn, the wonky acorn. I think the acorn's a little drunk. And no, I have not had tons of this cider before we started, just so you know. But
of course not. That would be entirely unprofessional.
Of course. Would not be us at all.
Of course, after all, the good folks at Mill Street and Thornbury wouldn't want some unprofessionals ruining the name of their good lager.
No, no.
Or cider.
Drink and craft responsibly.
Of course.
Speaking of.
Yes. Tipple.
This is nice because it's not too dry and not too sweet. It's really just nice and refreshing, actually. So now that we've got our acorn shapes, oh, okay, that'll look good. What I've used is some spray glue, and all these supplies that we picked up. The most expensive ones we picked up at Walmart. Most of the other ones we picked up from dollar store. So, you know, it's really cheap and cheerful. And what we're trying to do too is have crafts that are, you know, relatively quick and easy to make. I got to be a little more precise here.
Seasonally related, I think, is the best way to put it.
Well, seasonally related, and, you know, like, not something that, you know, you're going to have to go to the Martha School of Crafts to have to be able to do. So now we've got a little piece of the fabric. So while hubby was checking the camera, because that's what you got to do.
Got to make sure it's still running and it decides not to shut itself off.
You know, when you're not a pro and have all the super fantastic video equipment, you make do with what you can, much like crafts. So now I've traced the top of the acorn, and we'll cut that out while Aaron makes.
We're gonna make some trimming adjustments here just to make this fit a little bit better.
Make it look pretty.
Yeah, make it look pretty.
Awesome.
That's the wonderful thing about crafts, though. You don't have to be 100% precise.
Well, no. It's supposed to look homemade to a certain extent.
There we go.
Better?
Much better.
Awesome. And pass it back over?
Yep. All right, there we go.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Add another little bit of spray glue, and make sure when you're spraying that you have you know, something underneath so that you're not gluing everything to the table.
Yeah, also make sure you keep it away from your beer. Well,
yes, that's very important because, you know, that glue doesn't really taste very good.
And we're sniffing enough of it here already. We don't need it in our beer.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, no. Okay, so. All right, you might need to do a little more trimming on that for me if you don't mind.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
But now we have an acorn, and that can actually, and you can, if you want to trim and tape.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah.
Tape that onto your twine. So next we'll move on to the piece of pumpkin pie. What you'll need is some kind of pumpkin colored construction paper, or you know, brown, whatever you got hanging around that looks pumpkin pie-ish. Fold it in half and half again, so you're quartered, and then just cut a shape of a triangle. So what you're doing, this is the fold, and you're cutting away the fold basically. Side. Make sure the first fold is on the top.
Yes, that would be handy.
That would be handy. And cut another half, and there you have your pie shape. I had cut some earlier in a really nice pumpkin pie color. And while he's attaching that, I will also cut...
Ooh, the crust.
Yes, a strip for the crust. So, with your cardstock paper, I don't have a precise length to cut. You can always eyeball it a bit. This is about not quite twice as wide as the top of the pie. And then you're just folding it in an accordion shape. So back and forth. Oh, looking good so far.
Yeah, I think we have room for one more piece of pie. That should work out nicely.
Perfect.
That's this stuff out of the way here.
All right.
Yep.
And since we already have a piece of pie attached to, all I did was take some of the white glue and glue it on the inside of the pie piece, and fold it over with the piece of twine inside, and that's how we got this fella. So he just needs his adornments. So take some more of the glue. Now, what I found, you might need some hot glue to make this really stick. But, you know, for our purposes today, this will do just fine. And press down, get the glue on the bendy bits there.
Now, the great part is you can actually put in a little extra glue when you go to glue down the crust because it all dries clear.
Yeah.
So nobody will know.
Your secret. You know, much like the fact that the store is pie-bought, we won't tell. Store-bought. Pie-bought?
Yeah.
Store-bought.
The cider.
Shush. Nobody needs to know.
Now, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to need to wait at least 20-25 minutes for it to dry. We're obviously not going to do that here because you don't need 25 minutes of us sitting here talking about it. So we'll do a little time lapse, a little editing. We'll make it look a little bit fancier. And then you can put in a little piece of cotton batting or cotton ball in the middle as your whipped cream on your pumpkin pie.
And then you have a little something like this.
So what we're going to do is we'll come back in a little bit, and once it's all dry, and we'll show you the finished product and how it'll look up on the wall. It's nice, quick, cheerful.
And you can have the kids help you too. So thank you for joining us, and hopefully if you like this video, you'll stick around the next 2-3 weeks. We'll be doing Halloween themed craft and beverages. Thanks so much for joining Crafts with Michelle and Aaron. Take care.